concrete walls. There's a place for us where we could go, where we could be alone. Between city lights, we don't have to hide. I wanna go, do you wanna follow? There's something in the air, I can't explain it, but it's there. Ain't nobody gonna find us in our secret love affair. I don't wanna have to hide no more, it shouldn't be unfair. I wanna go, and I wanna know, do you wanna follow? Baby, do you wanna follow? Come with me, do you wanna follow? Baby, can't you see that? I wanna go, and I wanna know, do you wanna follow? Baby, do you wanna follow? Come with me, do you wanna follow? Baby, can't you see that? I wanna go, and I wanna know, do you wanna follow? I can't understand why we can't hold hands, but they don't know what we have is real love. Aren't you sick and tired of having to hide? I know a place, do you wanna follow? There's something in the air, I can't explain it, but it's there. Ain't nobody gonna find us in our secret love affair. I don't wanna have to hide no more, it shouldn't be unfair. I wanna go, and I wanna know, do you wanna follow? Baby, do you wanna follow? Come with me, do you wanna follow? Baby, can't you see that? I wanna go, and I wanna know, do you wanna follow? Do you wanna follow? Baby, do you wanna follow? Come with me, do you wanna follow? Baby, can't you see that? I wanna go, and I wanna know, do you wanna follow?
What's up, everybody? I'm Joshua Bardwell, and you're going to learn something today. How's everybody doing? Hello, Oregon. Hello, everybody. Where are you from? What are you doing here? What are you, 93 degrees in Seattle? That ain't right. That ain't right. Shouldn't be 93 degrees in Seattle, I'll tell you what. Just Poe, there it is. That's what I was looking for. Pagosa Springs, Colorado. I have never heard of Pagosa Springs, Colorado. But now I have said the name of it. How's it going, guys? How is it going? I'm Joshua Bardwell. We're going to do some questions and answers. Q&A 85 in Portland. Weird. Get it? Because Portland is weird. No, that's a good thing. The Portland slogan is keep Portland weird. Now people think I'm insulting. How dare you call Portland weird? They like it that way. That's how they like it. Long Branch, Fullerton, California, Vancouver, BC. My aunt lives in BC. I don't remember what town in BC, but it's beautiful in BC. Guillermo Nespolo loves my parkour in Atlanta. Go watch Bachgrinder's video from Atlanta if you want to see me do some parkour over a table. Scotland! Never pass up an opportunity to do a bad Scottish accent, but only very briefly. It's funny if you do it once. It's offensive if you do it your whole life. Mike Myers, I'm talking to you. How do Scottish people feel about Mike Myers? I really want to know. I never knew that I wanted to know until this moment. Mike Myers does the weird Scottish accent. He's not Scottish. Is he Scottish? Is he actually Scottish? Oh, it's not offensive if he's Scottish. Let me ask you this. If your family's Scottish, but you grew up in America, and then you become a comedian and you start doing a bad Scottish accent, is that racist? Let's do some drone stuff. Camp Lejeune. Oh, Nick Sebring, Camp Lejeune. Ouch. I have actually been to Camp Lejeune. I've never, some people see my haircut and assume I've been in the military. I have never served in the military. Let's just be really, no stolen valor here. But I worked for a company that had a lot of work on military bases. I spent a lot of time going around military bases. And Camp Lejeune is out there in the deserts. Yeah. Alrighty, guys. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to do some questions and answers. You know the drill, unless you're new here. Anybody new here? Anybody new in the chat? Mike Myers is from Canada. No wonder he's so funny. Okay, great. We're going to do some questions and answers. Let me give you guys just a quick look at my screen. Boom! Right here. Right here's my screen. This is what you're looking at. Is that my whole screen? Hang on a second. What's going on with my OBS? OBS, get over there. There you go, OBS. Oh, I'm going to screw up my whole deal now. I did so much work to get my live stream set up correctly. Hello there, Vance Hammond. You're new here. Welcome. Welcome. Levi Parn. Welcome. Fressy55, new from Montreal. Welcome, guys. If you're watching this on the DVR, don't comment down below. Say hello. It's not right now you're watching it, it's live. But if you're watching it tomorrow, how would you know the difference? Here's what we're going to do. I got questions. Julius Black and he finally made a live stream. Thank you. Pay that $10 to yourself, Dave Lockwood. Just practice. Get some stick time. I got questions coming in here, right here, hot and fast. They come in so hot and fast, I answer them as fast as I can. But if you want to make sure that your message gets called out, if you want to make sure that I don't overlook your message because there's just went by too fast, definitely hit that $sign. It's a way you can support the channel and you can get your message called out in this separate window down here where I will almost definitely not forget to get it. Thank you, Ken Heron, for the... Is it Heron, like the bird? $10 from Ken. Ken Heron says, Mr. Bardwell, us photography drone guys are looking forward to seeing you on August 29th. Ken Heron, my viewers may not have any idea who Ken Heron is because he does a lot of like DJI camera drone stuff. But I do know who, I've seen his stuff. He did a video where one of his friends had him fly a race quad. He was terrible at it. No offense, Ken. I'm sure I'd be just as terrible at flying a Phantom. No, I wouldn't. But he actually asked me to come on his show, and I was like, sure. I mean, dude's got like, let's put his channel up here real quick. Ken Heron. I hope I'm saying your name right, Karen. Ken Heron on YouTube. He has a really cool YouTube channel. There we go. Ken Heron. There's his YouTube channel. I'm going to be on his show toward the end of August. He's going to interview me on his show. And I don't know what we'll talk about, but we'll talk about something. Look, here's the bottom line, guys. Here's the bottom line. You asked me to come on your channel. You got 92,000 subscribers. Heck, yeah, I'm down. I'm not proud. No, I like Ken. I like his channel. It's not just because he's got 92,000 subscribers. It is also because he's got 92,000 subscribers. But I dig his channel, and maybe someday I'll get into camera drones and I'll learn all from him. Anyway, let me finish my intro opening thing that some of you guys have seen before. So we got the regular chat. Put your questions there. I will answer as many of them as I can. Put your super chats down here if you want to make double, triple sure that I get to them. And over here, hello! This is my Discord server. I have a Discord server where you can chat, and it's just for my patrons. If you subscribe to me on Patreon, however you want to say it, you can chat down here. Okay? Straight out of Sarasota, Florida, Patriot FPV. Sarasota, Florida is one of the most beautiful places. And I know because I went there for Get FPV's quad camp. And there's so many the trees in Sarasota are like, which is a better type of tree? Like the overhanging branches of Sarasota or the tall, like evergreens of the Pacific Northwest? That's a tough one. I think I lean towards Sarasota. Anyway, so that's what we're going to do. I got one more. Hold on. Ken Heron is over here in the other window still talking to me. Hold on. There we go. I got one other thing to say. Normally this live stream goes for 2 hours. We go till 10 p.m. I'm having an interview tonight with, what's the dude's name? Michael Rollins. Maybe I shouldn't have spilled the beans. Maybe he wanted it to be a secret. But if you guys know who Michael Rollins is, he's kind of like the Larry King of FPV, and he asked me to come and do an interview, and he was like, "Hey, can you do it Monday at 9?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure," because I'm terrible at scheduling. I didn't go like, "No, I have a live stream till 10." I was just like, "Yeah, my calendar's free." So I'm going to be breaking off at 9, ending the live stream an hour early tonight to go do an interview with Michael Rollins, and he'll probably ask me about, if history's any guide, he'll ask me about Rotor Riot and Chad Capper, but we'll see how that goes. But Jack Fu FPV was at that quad camp. That was one of the biggest. That was probably the biggest quad camp that we had. There were like, I'll tell you a secret about it. If you were at the Get FPV quad camp, Stingy forgot to turn off the ticket system. Normally, you sell out as many tickets as you meant to sell, and then you turn off the tickets, and they don't sell any more tickets. He forgot to turn it off. So we meant to sell like 35 tickets. We sold like 50 tickets. And there were way more people there. We were like, where are we going to put all these people? But it was hugely successful. So it was a good one. Yeah, it was really fun. Hatash FPV says, live stream the interview. Here's the thing. It's his content. So he's going to take it. He's going to edit. He's going to release it on his own schedule. It would be kind of rude for me to live stream it. But, yeah. So let's get started on the questions. Since we're only going to go for an hour, let me not BS around. Let me jump right in and get started on the questions. Alex Smith says, do I have to pay $150 for the aeronautical knowledge test, even if I am not wanting a Part 107 and just flying recreationally? Alex, the FAA is going to require aeronautical knowledge test for all pilots, all drone pilots, even recreational pilots. The timeline I have heard is November 2019, not that far off. So that's what I'm hearing. Now, will it be $150? I don't know about that. I'm not sure what the price will be and whether it will be the same aeronautical knowledge test that Part 107 guys have. Presumably, recreational flyers will not have to take the same test that 107 guys take, and presumably recreational pilots won't have to pay $150 because that would really be onerous. But I don't know about that. What I can tell you is that if you are a recreational flyer, you will be expected to take a knowledge exam starting in the November-ish time frame. That's what I'm being told. Will there be another quad camp? Yes, there will be another quad camp. Basically, what we did all through 2018 was try to hold quad camps, try to just get some momentum going, and many of them ended up not making a profit. That's the gist of it. The expenses, well, I won't get you into details, but suffice it to say that overall we found that it was more difficult than we thought to not lose money doing quad camps. So we loved them. I think I speak for everybody that said we love doing them. I love getting out, meeting you guys, getting sort of seeing what you're working with, just getting to help you hands-on instead of just doing videos. They were awesome. But at the end of the day, we ran out of money. So we will be doing more quad camps, but we will only do them if we are sure that we're not going to lose money. I think that's fair. So there are certain conditions that have to be met for that to happen, and they haven't been met yet. The biggest thing about a quad camp is to have a location like an X-Hover, like a Get FPV, like a Race Day Quads. When you have a location like that, number one, it's a big location. You can hold your event. Number two, they sell stuff, so they make money on the side, and that helps sort of finance the whole thing. And at the end of the day, that's the gist of it. All right. QPMKRO says 4 out of 8 TBS Unify 32 Pro HV in our group have suddenly died. Seems to be a problem with this first version. Have you heard anything about it? I am going to speak very, very carefully here because I don't want to bring down any drama on myself. I have heard reports from more than one person about Unify 32 Pro 32s dying. And one guy sent me an email and said, I brought threads up about this on the TBS Lounge, and they deleted them. He showed me screenshots of the purportedly deleted threads. I have been hearing, yes, I have heard of this. I don't know if it's true. I don't know, but you're not alone, I guess, is my message. You're not the first person to ask me, is there something going on with the TBS Unify 32 Pro 32? Presumably TBS will fix it and make it right. If you've got dead ones, if you have a dead one, definitely reach out to TBS via the TBS support system or on the TBS lounge. Don't be a jerk about it. I guarantee you, if you go in there and you say, this thing sucks, can't believe it, you guys are, if you go in there and you're a jerk, you will not get it. I'm pretty sure they will not be like, thank you, yes, give us some more, sir. But if you go in there and you're polite about it and you say, hey, look, I had this problem, probably they'll take care of you. They're not terrible about that. They're usually pretty good about that. So there you go. ABC Aircraft says, can you teach me how to remap the camera input pin? You cannot do that. So on a flight controller, some of the pins are what's called GPIO. It stands for General Purpose Input Output. Those GPIO pins can be used for pretty much anything. They can be used for motor outputs. They can be used for, and that's why you can remap them. You can just tell the flight controller, do something else with that pin. The camera input pin is not remappable. So you're basically out of luck. Okay. Are you a DJI Mavic 2 Pro fan? If I were going to buy a camera drone, it would be a DJI drone. They make the best. Lucid Guy in the Discord asks, hey, my HDO DVR looks like garbage compared to the in-goggle view. What am I missing? The Fat Shark DVR looks like garbage compared to the in-goggle view. That's just a fact. It's always been true. There's a firmware update. The 1.12a firmware update does make it better, but the DVR never looks as good as what's actually in the goggles. I use an external DVR when I'm recording for videos. The DVR that I use is the Lumineer DX600. I'll show you that real quick. Lumineer DX600. Now you're gonna spit. You're gonna spit when you see that it's $100 freaking. So like you really gotta want it. But the thing I like about this DVR is it's almost as good as the goggles in terms of not breaking up. Not quite as good, but almost as good. And it records local audio, so if you're talking during a flight, you can actually hear yourself talking, that's really nice. And it's a little screen, so you can see your signal. But that's what I use. There are other good ones out there. That's just, oh, my bad. That's just the one I use. So, here we go. What's my drink today? Arnold Palmer, same as always. Yeah, License to Drive points out, that's a good point, License to Drive. The Fat Shark DVR doesn't want to deal with de-interlacing the signal, so they just record every other line, which means that the resolution is half what it actually is in the goggles. That's ridiculous. I don't know about this Lumineer DVR, whether it does that same thing or not, but yikes. Let's see. I got some super chats coming in. I'll just knock those out. We're gonna try to keep up a brisk pace today, since we were only gonna do an hour because I've got this interview with Michael Rollins tonight. That's on me because I scheduled it at 9 without I just literally just was like, oh yeah, I can do it at 9. I'm terrible at scheduling, so sorry about that. Pilot 8091, thank you for $5. If you have Pilot 8091 is in the chat. He's volunteering to make ESC songs for you. If you've got a song and you want your ESC to play the song, he will make it for you at Pilot 8091 in the chat. So I have the one. Mine is the Mario Power-Up Mushroom Pilot. That I have everything I've ever wanted from an ESC tone. That's it. That's my song, baby. It's my jam. El Mostrito, thank you for $10. Do you know if the new DJI HD system can use other types of OSD? No, it cannot. That is not possible at all. Not like immersion easy OSD, just can't be done. You would need to get in between the camera and the VTX, and there is no way that any existing analog OSD is going to be able to do that. Never mind, no, just can't be done, El Mostrito. Sorry, man. You got to use the DJI OSD. This, by the way, was one of the things that when I first started hearing about high definition digital video systems, I was like, well, what about the OSD? You have to bake the OSD into the digital system. Speaking of DJI, and no, we are not going to spend the whole live stream talking about DJI because we talked about in the last live stream, but I want to encourage you guys, after my stream is over. Don't leave now. I want to encourage you guys to go check out Stinger Swarm's latest video, why I'm not ready to switch to the DJI digital FPV system. So first he gave his first impressions, but then, 4 days later, and I'm guessing what happened is he opened the box 2 days before it released. He made the first impressions video. He went, cut that out of the way. And then he flew it for another week and he went, oh crap. Oh, I missed. Second impressions. That's my guess. But basically, he shows that how the system performs at the very edge of its range. You might actually end up preferring analog. And he talks about how the latency changes while you're flying, which can actually, like if you have 50 milliseconds latency, but it's constant 50 milliseconds, you can kind of get used to it. But if sometimes it's 20 and sometimes it's 60, it throws you off. He talks about all this in the video. You can check that video out on his channel. So, oh, hey, he's right there. Hi, Sting. I wasn't talking about you. TAC FPV, thank you for $5. Now get out of my live stream, dude. No, I shouldn't. TAC invited. TAC, I don't know if he got invited or if he just invited himself, but it was all good. Everybody likes TAC. He showed up in Atlanta last weekend. Basically, Bachgrinder and Cricket were going to Atlanta to fly with Stingy and just rip some sights. And Bachgrinder talked about it on his live stream, and just word got out, and everybody was like, hey, can we come? And it's all good. But TAC just kind of showed up, and then the whole weekend I was joking with him, like, you may have seen in my vlog, I was just like, get out of my vlog. We're just screwing around, though. I wouldn't want anybody to think I was actually being mean to TAC, so we'll let that joke die. Serge Servak, thank you for 10 euros. No question, just, okay, cool. Thank you, Serge. Let's see here. So, back to the question. Stingy's going to post the video up on Facebook. I can't wait for my goggles. My goggles haven't come yet. I haven't got that system to test. I'm looking forward to actually getting to test it. Although, I kind of like the fact that now anytime I get anything wrong in a video, I could just be like, yeah, well, I didn't get it. That's my excuse. So, yep. How can I tame my throttle, Keith Ratliff? How can I tame my throttle? Keith, here's what I would suggest. Betaflight has a feature called throttle scaling. I have a video about it. This is the video, and I'm going to go ahead and post the URL in the chat for you. Who asked the question? Oh, Keith Ratliff. I'm going to tag you as well, Keith. This is what you do. Basically, just take your whole throttle down by like 25%, 30%, and everything will get easier. That's all. Thank you for coming out, Stingy. Always good to have you. And I'm kind of tempted to invite Stingy into a call if he wants to, but then we just spend the whole live stream talking about DJI, and I wouldn't answer any of your questions. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to try to stay focused on questions and not put him on the spot either. So, how do I feel about KISS FC? Have you tried a KISS setup? How does it compare to Betaflight? KISS, Betaflight, they all have their proponents. They all have their strong points. I'm hard-pressed to say. I mean, people who fly and love KISS would say KISS is the best thing ever. My big thing with KISS is, number one, all the KISS components are super expensive compared to other components that you can get. They're really premium components. There are good reasons for that. Like, I think they manufacture their boards in Germany or in the EU instead of in China, but they're super expensive. So when I was... Right now, if I were to reach out to somebody and say, hey, I want to do a build, they probably would send it to me for free because, I'm a big shot now. I'm being sarcastic, please. But back when I was not a big shot, I would never got into KISS because it was all so freaking expensive. I just, and so now it's kind of like just not. But the other thing about KISS is KISS doesn't have a built-in on-screen display on the flight controller. And that always bugged me. I hate having to do FTDI adapter flashes and MWOSD so that's probably like one of the biggest things. Also, KISS doesn't have black box built in. I think they use an open log device. So I'm just like, every time I think about maybe I should do a KISS build, I'm just like, then I don't. So Can you load Betaflight onto a Flight 1 board? Ask Ethan Mitchell. Yes, you can. Matthew Doherty says OSD is overrated. Well, maybe it is, but I mean, that's, I like what I like. Lucid Guy wants to know, what frame is behind me? Lucid Guy, thank you in the Discord for asking. Speaking of Stinger Swarm, Stinger is a swarm. Stingy knows what for. This is the new Stinger Swarm frame from X-Hover. It's available for pre-order either now or very, very soon. And it's in the background because X-Hover sent it to me, and I'm going to be doing a build with it. And I'm super excited about this new forged carbon, which very briefly, because I also talked about this yesterday, when I first heard they were doing forged carbon, I thought forged carbon is weaker. Why would you build a quadcopter out of forged carbon? Well, apparently they thought the same thing. They released a pre-release of it out of forged carbon, then it broke all over the place, and they went, well, this isn't a good idea. Let's not do this. So they took it back and they redid it. And basically what you've got here is just a layer on the outside of the forged carbon, which looks freaking badass. Kind of camo looking. That's the forged carbon, just there to make it look badass, but the inside is like Toray 700 super carbon. So I'm going to be doing a build with this soon, and as long as I had it on my desk, I just kind of set it up behind me and make my set look nice. So yep. So that's the set. Chance Beck, looking to get my first quad in the coming months. Depending on where DJI and Fat Shark systems are, should I buy that or go with what's already proven to work? Chance Beck, that's a very good question. In a way, the person who is just getting into the hobby is the perfect person to buy the DJI system because you don't have any investment in existing stuff. So somebody who owns a set of HDOs and wants to buy the DJI goggles, they're already in for $500. Are they going to sell the HDOs? But you're a clean slate. I think that I would. The thing is, everyone else you talk to is going to be using analog. As popular as the DJI system is, and I mean, a lot of people are going like, yes, please, people with a lot of money. Even if you had a lot of money as a beginner, it was your first build, I might say, maybe go analog. But then again, the digital system does get rid of a lot of the hassles that analog comes with. But here's the other thing. You're not going to be able to fly with other people. You're going to have trouble spectating them. They're going to not be able to spectate you, and potentially you're going to interfere with them. So I would probably lean towards analog for a first pilot, especially because the DJI system is as good as it is, and it is really good. It's the best digital HD FPV system that I feel comfortable saying it's the best one made to date. And I've tried them all. I've tried ProSight. I've tried the DJI OcuSync, which was their sort of Gen 1 system. It really is the best. It's the first one where I was like, okay, I could fly this. But it still is relatively new and has stuff to be proven, as Stingy's new video reveals. So, I would probably say go to analog. Let's see here. Gnarly Garnt, thank you for $5 in the super chat. I recently flipped my quad and it wouldn't disarm. 2 motors fried. What may have caused this? Gnarly Garnt, I'm going to guess that you didn't test your failsafe before you flew. My best guess is it went into failsafe, but the failsafe wasn't set right. So you couldn't disarm. Sorry about that. I smacked the mic. You couldn't disarm because it was in failsafe, but your failsafe didn't shut the motors down. So always before you fly a new build, always test failsafe by arming the quad, turn the motors with props off, arm the quad, turn the transmitter off, and the motor should stop. Sky says in the Discord, my motors are running hot with new Gemfan 4-blade props. What PIDs do I need to drop? Fine with 3 blades. The issue there, Sky, is probably not the PIDs. If the PIDs were a problem, then the motors would probably be hot no matter what prop you're using. My guess is that the 4-blade props are just like over propping the motor. It's just making the motor work too hard because there's more drag on the 4 blades. It's possible that a set of props would be like out of balance and that would cause the motors to heat up from the PIDs. But my guess is that you're just overpropping the motors. Sky, if you want to tell me in the Discord chat what motor size, voltage, and kV you're running on, I'll make a guess as to whether you're overpropping them. Guillermo Nespolo wants to know, how long will it take before China comes out with a bad copy of the DJI goggles? The thing is, there are already inexpensive, poor-performing digital FPV systems. They exist. You could buy one if you wanted to, but you shouldn't. No, I don't think anyone's going to clone DJI because I firmly believe that DJI has proprietary custom silicon, ASICs or whatever, that they invented and that no one else has. So someone else may try to make a similar system. Someone's definitely going to make a set of goggles that looks like a DJI, but no one's going to clone the technology. The flip side is the Fat Shark Bite Frost system. They didn't invent that in-house. They're using a chip called HD0, I think. I can't remember the exact name. This is a chip that was made by a third-party company, and Fat Shark is buying it. But anyone else could buy that chip and make a similar product. There's a lot of steps between buying a chip and having a finished product. So it doesn't mean that their product would be just as good or whatever as the Fat Shark one. But the Fat Shark technology, the Bite Frost, is not proprietary to Fat Shark because the chips that they're buying that do the encoding and stuff are, anyone can buy those. Whereas the DJI, I'm pretty sure, is proprietary. Okay. Tank FPV just finished a build and realized my ESCs are multi-shot. What do I do? Set your flight controller to multi-shot. Calibrate the endpoints. Don't forget that part. And then go fly. Just get on with your life. Or replace the ESCs with D-shot ones if you need turtle mode. I would miss turtle mode. Sky's motors are 2205.5. So that's already a pretty small motor. 5S 1922 kV. 1922 kV is not super high for 5S, so your RPMs aren't bad, but your motors aren't very big. Sky, I'm going to guess that those 4-blade props are just enough drag to overprop your 2205 motor, that you've just hit the limit of your motor. That's my guess. That's my guess. Let's see here. Well, here's the thing, Mike Alexa. Mike Alexa says all silicon comes from Samsung, Hynix, Micron. I guarantee DJI got it from one of them. It's not as special as they'd like you to think. I find it... Think about DJI's tech in the past. All of their stuff is super proprietary, you know? I mean, maybe not their silicon, but, they really do a lot of in-house stuff. And you really never, I can't think of a time, maybe you'll think of one, you really never see any third party getting hold of DJI's tech. So if DJI went to someone like Samsung, Hynix, and Micron and asked them to develop this silicon for them, I would be shocked if it wasn't exclusivity. I just don't think, and even if it's true, DJI has so much engineering might in-house that even if you hand someone else the chips and say, okay, go ahead, make the system, there's so many ways to screw up a system like this, as we know from all the other systems that have come before. So I just am, this idea that China's just going to bang out a copy of it, I don't buy it. Anirudh Ravi, sorry for missing your super chat there. That is 100. I bet it's rupees. I think it's rupees. I have a Foxeer Micro Arrow. After about 2 minutes, the video gets a very strong red tint, becomes impossible to fly. Lost 2 cameras like this. That's a tough one. You've lost 2 cameras like this, which suggests to me that the camera is not the cause. Right? If 2 cameras do it, then I would be looking at I would use just a basic process of elimination to fix this, to troubleshoot this, Anirudh Ravi. If you have a friend who has a set of goggles or you have a second set of goggles, see if it happens on both of them. That will rule out the goggles. If you could try a different VTX, maybe that's it. Usually the video like getting a red tint, I would blame the camera. But you say 2 cameras have happened like this. I would want to be just swapping out parts to try and figure out. I'm afraid that there's not many other places to go other than to just try a different camera, try a different VTX, try a different set of goggles, and try to find out which of those things is the cause of the problem. Enthale, if you buy a Hero 7 Black from Best Buy, how do you get the replacement plan? It's the accidental coverage plan. You buy the accidental coverage plan, and you are good. Okay, sorry for missing your question there in the super chats. Want to get fly? Thanks for $2.22. Ron Grant, thanks for $2. What KV limit for 6S with no throttle limiter? Ron Grant, I have flown as high as like 2150 KV on 6S with no throttle limit. It was, you're going to like just destroy your battery. You need a really good battery. But that I feel like is the upper, like without getting into insane land. Like Maddie runs 2400 kV 6S, but he has to like throw capacitors at the thing just to keep it in the air from desyncing. I feel like for a pretty solid setup as high as maybe 2100 kV on 6S without starting to go to extreme lengths, but I feel like 1900 kV I would be 100% comfortable like saying you could run that on 6S without too much trouble. So that's what I would say. Let's see here. Kyle K says, you really don't want to tell Best Buy the wrong thing when you bring one in. Kyle K, I got to disagree with you there. I have been present. Either I'm returning the GoPro or I'm like at a Rotor Riot shoot and people are bringing the GoPros back in. Let me tell you a story. Cricket went to Best Buy on like Saturday morning when he was in Atlanta, replaced 2 GoPros, went out, smashed them both that very day, went back to Best Buy the very same Best Buy, I think, exchanged them, got 2 new ones. They just don't care. They don't care. That's the point of the accidental coverage protection. You just bring it in, you say, here it is, it's broken, I need a new one, please. And they say, oh, how did it break? And you go, I flew it on a drone. Okay. They don't care. They really do not care. I promise you. Like maybe you'll be the one unlucky guy to get a jerk, but the policy doesn't, there's nothing in the Stinger Swarm, if you're still in the chat, correct me here, nothing in the agreement like says, but we got you. Here's the only got you in the Best Buy coverage. They want you to bring back the accessories. So if you don't have the battery, the USB cable, the little chest mount thing, they're going to charge you like $25 for that stuff, which is annoying. Freshly Fried says you pay the warranty every time. It's not a warranty, Freshly Fried. It's insurance. So that's the way it works. You buy the insurance policy. When you claim the insurance policy, that's the end of it. Then you buy a new insurance policy on your new camera. Nobody's ripping you off there. That's how it works. Don't say it was a drone flight, says Stinger Swarm. I have. I mean, I just laugh about it. If Stingy says not to, maybe you shouldn't. But they're like, oh, what happened? I'm like, I fly it on a drone. I crash him. And then I laugh at them and I say, I don't know how you guys don't go out of business with me exchanging these. I'm buying another one and I'm going to get the insurance and I'm going to break it too. And then I laugh and I laugh. And no, I don't quite go that far. If Stingy says don't say you flew it on a drone, then probably better safe than sorry. Clancy Agan, can Crossfire get into Area 51? Only if you do a Naruto run. Yeah, so maybe better safe than sorry to just say you dropped it. The coverage specifically says it covers drops. Well, Chamber, I don't know. Whether Best Buy loses money or GoPro depends on who covers the damage. If it is a warranty issue, like a speck of dust on the sensor, that's a warranty issue, and GoPro covers it. And if that happens, you do not have to rebuy the insurance. Best Buy refunds you the insurance, too. And at that point, GoPro eats it. But I think the insurance, Best Buy eats it. That's the way I think of it. Matthew Doherty wants to know what KV for 7-inch 4S. Matthew Doherty, I have something to show you that you are going to love. I worked on this spreadsheet. I know, right? Do y'all love spreadsheets as much as I do? Because I love spreadsheets. I worked on this spreadsheet with Jeff Simpson in Atlanta. Thank you, Jeff, for helping me with this. What KV for a 7-inch prop? Well, check this out. Now, I'm going to make a video about this, but here's a little teaser. This is a spreadsheet that calculates the KV of the motor. I mean, it's going to be a little tricky to read it, but don't worry, you'll get it. Why can I not move? What's going on here? Okay, that's weird. Sorry, guys. My arrow keys are not doing what I expect them to do, but all right. It calculates the motor KV based on the battery voltage and the prop size, and then it calculates a Mach range. So you may know that the prop tip speed, you never want your the tip of your prop to get too close to the speed of sound, because when it does, bad stuff happens. And it actually turns out that props are most efficient at around, I think I read it was around 0.7 Mach. So what we're doing here is, in this, we've got the minimum Mach as 0.7, which is the point of maximum efficiency, according to some website I found, and the maximum Mach at 0.85, which is the point where bad stuff starts to happen. And so if we say I've got a 7-inch 4S quad, what KV do I want to shoot for? I want to shoot for a KV of 1700 to 2000 KV. And by the way, we're also calculating the cell voltage because, of course, the RPM changes based on the cell voltage. I'm using a cell voltage of 3.9 because my thought is that even if the battery starts at 4.2, as soon as you touch the throttle, it's going to start dropping. So based on this spreadsheet, I would shoot for around, if you're trying to go for a long-range cruiser, I'd shoot for closer to 1700 kV. If you're going for like a more performance-oriented, maybe 2000 kV. Now, here's the thing. This is not a perfect... I knew Risky Biscuit from Chattanooga came out, and he flew at my... he did a video with me. He's flying 1900 kV 7-inch on 6S. You got to understand that when you hit that throttle, the prop is going to bog down the motor. You're not going to actually hit the KV. So maybe this spreadsheet could use some tweaking, but maybe you could go a little higher if you wanted to, but that's something to think about. Anyway, so I would say based on this 1700 kV to 2000 kV, that's what I would do. Yep. Any new updates on the Jumper T16 we should know about? Asks Terminal LCPL in the Discord. The Jumper T16 is also behind me on the desk. The reason is that the new Jumper T16 with Hall effect gimbals has come out, and people are asking me, when are you going to switch the Jumper T16 as your daily driver? I said they had to do 3 things. I like this radio. I would like it as my daily driver, but I'm holding out on them because I want them to give me the 3 things that I want. And the 3 things were Hall effect gimbals, internal charging for the batteries for over USB, and an internal multi-protocol module. They've given me 1 out of those 3 things. I'm still holding out. I'm holding out. I also I asked Grayson Hobby. Grayson Hobby is a hobby shop in Loganville, Georgia, and unlike most local hobby shops, they actually have a bunch of FPV gear. And they sell the Wizard, but they like go over it with a fine-tooth comb before they sell it so it doesn't like fall apart on you. And they sell the Jumper T16, and I asked them, hey, one of the things I'm concerned about with new products is maybe it looks good, but then it just breaks. I said, how are you doing on like returns and exchanges for the Jumper T16? And he said, nah, they're pretty good. So that to me was another sort of good endorsement for the T16. But I'm still holding out for the internal multi-protocol module and internal charging, at least for now. I hope they're going to give it to me. Mitchell Hand, what's a good, free, easy-to-use video editor that won't reduce the video quality? Mitchell Hand, there are several suggestions you're going to hear from the chat. They're all good suggestions. The one that I always suggest is Shotcut. Shotcut is a free, simple, easy-to-use video editor. Like somebody's going to tell you you should try DaVinci Resolve. Resolve is fantastic, but it's like got a bit of a learning curve for a beginner. Shotcut is very basic, very simple, and easy to use. That's the one I would suggest. Hit Film Express, INFPV, thank you. That's the other one. Hit Film Express. Damn it, there's a fly in here again. Hit Film Express is the other one that is worth a look. Ryan Harrell, Quad McFly, uses that one and says it's pretty good. As long as you're only outputting 1080, it's good. MKME Lab, thank you for $10 in the super chat. Thanks for Patreon support and awesome vids. I've got my latest build tuned with the new Betaflight today. Even used one of your vids when I had trouble with smart audio. Thank you, MKME Lab, for that little message. Crash FPV says, what's your opinion on the Dark Knight transmitter? Do you still use one sometimes? Crash FPV, I spoke in yesterday's live stream about the trouble that Underground FPV has had with their customer support. To me, as good as the Underground FPV radio is, the inconsistent release of firmware updates, the fact that the official firmware is still not 100% feature complete, at least that's my understanding. And right now, there are people on RC groups building their own repo to get OpenTX fully functional on it. All of those things to me mean that I have a hard time feeling really good recommending the Nirvana, despite the fact that it is excellent hardware. I never actually transferred over to it for various reasons. One of the biggest reasons being that I never my drones never went over to FlySky. Otoko Kusanagi, how do I add telemetry to my T16 main screen? I don't have the option like you do in the video. Otoko, you have to have a telemetry receiver set up, and you have to go into the telemetry screen and discover new sensors. And once you have some telemetry sensors discovered, then you can add them like I do in the video. That's my guess as to what's gone wrong. Let's see here. Caddx Dolphin. I don't know about the Caddx Dolphin release date. The Caddx Dolphin is a new digital FPV HD camera. Caddx Dolphin, a new box camera. Some people have suggested, I don't know if this is true, but some people have guessed that the Dolphin is just a Caddx turtle in a box. I don't know about that. I will say that I am extremely dubious about the fact that it's $40. Like, here's the thing I said in a previous video. What if the Dolphin was just as good as like the Runcam 5 or the Foxeer Box 2? What if it was just as good as them in every way? Then why would they sell it for $40? They would sell it for $70, right? They would undercut the competition by just enough to make you buy it. But they wouldn't. Why would they sell it for $40? So I feel like just right out of the gate, I'm assuming the Dolphin is at least half as good as the box or the Runcam, because otherwise it wouldn't be $40. So then how good is it, and is it worth $40? That's the question. Here you go. Ryan, I mean, I hear you, Ryan. Ryan says, well, what if they're just going for volume? I don't think so. I don't think that, I mean, it's so marked down. They could, if the Runcam goes for $100, they could sell this for $60 and still just eat their lunch. So I feel like the fact that it's $40 says that whatever's inside it is just dirt cheap. And that doesn't make me feel great about it. But I'm going to give it a fair chance. I will get one, and I will test it, and I will give it a fair chance. Thank you, Mad Hatter FPV, for $2. Mad Hatter in the regular chat says, I have at the top of my OSD smart audio menu FR1 5658 800. Okay, so Mad Hatter, if in your OSD smart audio menu you see FR1 5658 800, that tells you that smart audio is working, because the flight controller reads the settings off the VTX, and it's showing them to you there. But you say my channels keep skipping all over the place. What I would want to do in your case is when the channel skips, I would want to look back in the OSD menu real quick and see if that value has changed. What I'm trying to figure out is, does the flight controller and the VTX think the channel has changed. In other words, is the VTX just broken and it's just moving all over the place? Or is it actually thinking it's changing channels? That's the first thing I would want to know, and then the troubleshoot would diverge based on that. Extinction in the Discord says, any updates or modifications to your ammo box power supply? Now, I haven't changed a damn thing about it since I built it. I would say I put that adjustable power supply in it, and the problem is that that darn thing is always over on the bench, over on the table. It's never over on the bench where I'm actually working. I might not put that adjustable DC power supply in it again. I might just use it as just a regular power supply. Odyssey FPV, thanks for £5. What's up from the UK? Why and when should I use Black Box? Should I use it if I don't see any issues with my flight? No. Odyssey FPV, Black Box is useful for three things. If you're a developer, you need Black Box to just get deep down into the guts and see what the things are going on. If you are a really, really into tuning, and you just want to squeeze every last bit of performance out of the quad in terms of its tuning, then Black Box is for you. And if you have a problem you're trying to troubleshoot, then Black Box is for you. But other than that, just fly. Go have fun. Hunter Bikes, how would I add an OSD to a Wizard X220? Should I just put in a new flight controller? Yeah, you could do that, Hunter. The simplest way to add an OSD to an X220 is to get a camera like there are so many cameras these days that have a built-in OSD. Now, all they do is show you battery voltage, but that's okay. That's kind of all you need. And then you just swap the camera and don't have to deal with any nonsense. Let's see here. Maximiliano Sebastian Ilyamas Gutierrez says, my Flight 1 flight controller doesn't connect with my computer. When I plug it in, it says USB device not recognized. I'm going to assume you're running Flight 1 and not Betaflight on it. If you're running Flight 1, then you should not need to install any drivers. It should just re-recognize. So if you're getting that problem, it might be that the firmware on it is like bad in some way, or it might be that the actual hardware is damaged. Maximiliano, what I would suggest you do is go to the Flight 1 support Facebook group, or they also have I think it's a Slack or maybe a Discord server. I can't remember which they have. But there are official channels for support from Flight 1, and they will probably be able to get you help the fastest in figuring out why a USB device is not recognized. Usually when I see that, it's either a damaged USB cable or could be a messed up driver, but that's not likely in this case, or bad hardware. Dilithana Ranasingh. I'm really stretching here. What are the 4-in-1 ESCs compatible with a Riot Control flight controller? I'm pretty sure that's a DYS ESC is the one that's compatible. That is because DYS is the one who makes the Riot Control flight controller. Let's see here. Have I gotten to try the new Emu Flight thing yet? I have not, Crash FPV. I have not tried Emu Flight yet. Monkey Shine says, try reinstalling the USB driver. Yeah, it's not a bad idea. Plug the device in, go into the device manager, right-click and remove the device, reboot your computer, then plug the device in again. Yeah. Hey, Brad Mullins. Way to go, Brad. You got my attention. Yes, swearing at me is a great way to get my attention. I will notice you. I'm not skipping you, Brad. There's like 50 questions going by in the time I just don't see your question because you got unlucky. Now I'm skipping you on purpose. And yeah, you just purchased my flight controller, but that doesn't mean that you get to swear at me. If you want, listen, Brad Mullins, I'm talking to you. If you are trying to get me to answer your question in a live stream and I am missing it, number one, don't take it personally. I'm not ignoring you. There's just 200 people trying to ask me questions. Number two, just freaking email me or message me on Facebook and I will give you one-on-one attention and help you answer your question. And I don't give a damn if you purchase my flight controller or not. I help everybody. So calm down. calm down. It's okay. Everything's going to be okay. You're probably annoyed right now because your shit's broken and you want to fly, and I'm not answering your question. You're just trying to get in the air. Contact me on Facebook. I will help you after the live stream. We'll get it back in the air. It's going to be okay. But don't swear at me. Moving on. Like, I'm not against swearing. I swear. But don't swear at somebody. See the difference? Okay. Yeah, anyway. Dean T says, what are the negative consequences of enabling dynamic filtering, anti-gravity, and air mode for someone that can fly acro but still have learning? No, I mean, Dean, I would definitely never turn off dynamic filtering in beta flight. Dynamic filtering, I have a quad that I have literally all of the other filters turned off and just the dynamic filter. And the risk there is that you're going to smoke a motor, but the dynamic filter is your last line of defense against a smoked motor. I would never turn off the dynamic filter personally on any of my quads. And I run all my quads with anti-gravity and air mode on. So the only big sort of negative consequence there could be if you have air mode on. Some beginners have trouble landing with air mode on because when you tap the ground, the quad kind of wants to hop. You just got to freaking disarm it. Don't try to like land it like it was a DJI Phantom. Just get close to the ground, get mostly not moving, and then disarm and dump it. Right? That's how you land a mini quad. So air mode you might want to turn off. Adrian Bravo, thank you for $10 in the super chat. My trash can doesn't take off. The motor stops, it starts yawing, and it flips. I feel like I did something in beta flight. Adrian Bravo, the issue that you're having probably is your board alignment is not correct. Message me off. I have a great big copy-paste wall of text, Adrian. Message me on Facebook or email me, and I'll give you the steps. But if I paste it into the chat, it'll just be blah, 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 blah. It'll be no good. Tony gives me 20 Danish kroners, I think. Any news on Chad Nowak? Why isn't he flying? I don't know anything about his situation, Tony. I don't know a darn thing about him. I haven't seen him posting. I really couldn't say. He posted a video to his channel a while back of him like actually flying a glider. A lot of people don't know this about him, but the reason his name is Final Glide is because he actually is a full-scale glider pilot. He was an instructor too, I think. So who knows what he's doing instead of flying mini quads or posting on YouTube. Don't know the answer to that. We're going to wrap up soon, guys. If you just got here, it's going to be a short live stream tonight. We're only doing 1 hour because I have an interview with Michael Rollins. If you don't know Michael Rollins, look him up on YouTube. He's kind of turning into like the Larry King of FPV. He just does these long form interviews with people, asking them all kinds of questions about, you know what an interview is. So he is going to be interviewing me tonight, and I'm going to be leaving the live stream early to go do the interview. So just an hour today. But yeah, that's just going to be it. Rise FPV, thank you for $2. What are you working on now or future projects? One thing I'm working on now is this. Hello there. What's this? This is the JB F7 flight controller. There's also going to be an F4 version with the exact same pad layout. And these are some prototypes we got. We're doing final testing on the prototypes. No timeline on when they'll be available. I'm not going to make any promises because if we stumble across a defect, we're just going to put the whole thing on hold until we get it right. But this is it. And one cool thing about it is that it has an F7 and an F4. You pick your processor depending on how much the F7 is, of course, a little more expensive. But the pad layout's the same, which is going to make it easy for me to write a manual for it. And the other thing that's cool about it is the exact same pads are on both the top and the bottom. So if you lift a pad, there will be a spare of no matter what pad you lifted, there is a spare there. So that's a cool thing about it. Coming soon. Coming soon. That's the thing I'm working on. Thank you for $2, Rise FPV. Motoko Kusanagi, thanks for $5. What are my thoughts on the pre-built 4-inch Gecko as a beginner freestyle quad? I don't know a lot about that quad specifically, but I could see a 4-inch being a decent beginner freestyle quad. 4-inch is always this weird middle ground where it's not quite as light as a 3-inch, but it's not quite as powerful as a 5-inch. And you say that and you go, well, duh, of course, but it's actually kind of a little tricky to get good efficiency and performance out of a 4-inch, but it's not a bad choice. I might just think about getting a 5-inch and putting a throttle limit on it, though. Instead of buying a 4-inch Gecko, buy a 5-inch Chameleon or a Marmot. Pardon me. And if you're worried about the power because you're a beginner, just put a throttle limit on it. Okay. Not Michael Rollins, Guillermo. I think you're thinking of Henry Rollins. You may be thinking of Henry Rollins. Okay. Aniruth Ravi, what did I miss? Aniruth, reach out to me, message me privately if I'm missing your question here on the live stream. It's very difficult to keep up with all the questions coming through. Yeah. Thank you for not swearing at me, Aniruth Ravi. I'm going to look back and see if I can find your question just to make sure I get it, but I don't see it. I'm sorry. Aniruth, I wish I could search this window. So look, you guys have no idea. I mean, you have an idea. You're in the chat. You know how fast it goes. You know how fast it goes. Yes, I don't see your question, Aniruth. Oh, you missed my super chat. Did I miss you? What do you mean I missed your super chat? No, I got it. Oh, I'm sorry. You gave me another super chat. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Here, let me get it. I've isolated the problem to the camera. I guess I was unlucky. CMOS over CCD? I mean, here's the thing, Aniruth. Most cameras today coming out are CMOS. The CCD sensors have been discontinued by Sony, and eventually nobody's going to make them. So I think that if you love CCD, then you have two choices. Just buy like 10 CCD cameras now and hoard them, or find a CMOS camera that works for you. Find one that isn't too bad. And so, yeah, I just think that you have so much more selection with CMOS. Even if you like CCD, you're running out of options. So I think CMOS is a better looking image, but not everybody feels that way. Okay, there we go. Terminal OPL, thanks for $10. Now I'm caught up on super chats. If I missed your super chat, I sincerely apologize. Please message me privately, and I will be happy to help you. Thank you for the Discord as well. Chamber says, I have an amazing significant other. Why is that? How does I get so much free time? My wife must be a god. My wife is a god. I'm certainly not going to disagree with that, Chamber. Yeah. What would cause a goggle DVR to record in slow motion? Grimy Gravy in the Discord. I have no idea. What would that just shouldn't happen. Grimy Gravy, I'm going to guess that what is actually happening is whatever you're using to play back the video is like misreading the weirdo oddball frame rate. But I don't think the goggle DVR actually recorded it in slow-mo. Okay. We're going to wrap up. I'm going to go do this interview with Michael Rollins. Thank you guys. No, Nick Sebring, there's no link to that spreadsheet yet. I haven't made that public. So you're just going to have to go back and freeze frame it. That's going to do it, though. We're going to wrap up 1 hour early today. I'll see you guys at 1 p.m. Sunday and 8 p.m. Monday are the times when I live stream. I'll see you next weekend at 1 p.m. And more cool content coming this week. What have I got coming out this week? Hold on. DRE videos. I've got an interview with Dave Messina from the FPV Freedom Coalition talking about what is the FPV Freedom Coalition and is it better than the AMA? That's what I'm going to title that one. I got a review of the Diatone GT369 coming out. I have a review of the newbie drone ready to fly Acrobee kit and maybe a few other things too. That's going to do it, guys. I will see you next week. Bye-bye, everybody.